to make something for dinner tonight that we usually only have in restaurants. What do you love when we go out to eat?
Fajitas.
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 But guess what?
What?
I'm gonna make them 3 different ways. At least once a week, I try to make a recipe where I can double the ingredients and stretch one meal into 3 over a few days so that I don't feel like I'm having to make a new original recipe every single night. Chicken fajitas are the perfect idea for doing this. I can take the base of chicken fajitas and turn it into 3 incredible meals. So to start, I'm gonna take a saute pan over high heat. It can be medium high, but you wanna get a little bit of that sizzle. So I'm gonna put about a tablespoon of oil. Use a canola oil or vegetable oil or something that's got a neutral flavor. And you're gonna put in some onions and peppers. That's what you want. You hear that sizzle? Because that's gonna make them nice and crisp on the outside and tender on the inside. And you want to cut the peppers and onions into thin slivers so that when you go to a restaurant, like when you go to a Mexican restaurant and you get fajitas like my son loves, he loves to take those peppers and onions that are nice and thin and eat them one by one or in the fajita tortilla, which he loves wrapping up. That's one of our kids' favorite things when we go to Mexican restaurants. They love to take the peppers and the onions and the chicken or beef or shrimp or whatever we're getting that night and to put it in the tortilla with a little bit of guacamole, sour cream, cheddar cheese, tomatoes, lettuce. This is a great, fun recipe for kids because they can build it themselves, and that's what's something that makes it special and unique, especially when you're serving them in tortillas. So what you want to do is cook this for about 6 minutes or until they're nice and caramelly color on the outside and tender on the inside. After they've been sauteing for about 6 minutes, you can remove the peppers and onions to a bowl because now what you're going to do is you're going to cook up the chicken. And the chicken doesn't take that long to cook. That's going to take just about 2 minutes. All right, pull that all out. Oh God, it smells so good. This is the point when I'm cooking that I always want to start eating and I have to wait till everything's ready. But I can tell you something, we are big fans of peppers and onions in this house, which, by the way, you wouldn't think is normal for kids, but both of my kids love sauteed peppers and onions. All right, I'm gonna put in a little bit more oil just to coat the pan, heat it up for a second, and then we're gonna put in our chicken. And you wanna do strips of chicken, bite-sized strips, not too big, not too little, because you do want them to cook through pretty quick. And now, my favorite part, some fajita seasoning and a little bit of salt. And the fajita seasoning is just gonna give it that extra flavor, that zip, that zing, some oregano, some cayenne, some cumin. Just smells so incredible. And it's also gonna give it a little bit of that extra color. Just sprinkle it on, let these cook for about 2 minutes, and then we're gonna add back in the peppers and the onions. And that's another thing about this recipe that I love. There's only a few ingredients, little chicken, peppers, onions, some fresh cilantro and lime. That's another really great kick. I'm gonna put the peppers and the onions back in with the chicken. Now that the chicken is almost cooked through, I'm gonna put in a little bit more salt and fajita seasoning. And again, this is just to give more flavor to the onions and peppers because my kids personally like flavor. Bland foods are okay, but I mean, when you've got this extra zip and zing, trust me, everyone's gonna like it that much more. So now while that's finishing cooking, the peppers and the onions are heating through, I like to take some lime, cut it in half, get some cilantro, about a 1/4 cup This is just gonna give it that fresh flavor to add at the end. And you can give it a rough chop. It does not have to be perfect. And the best thing about cilantro is you can add the stems too. Don't feel like you have to throw those away because they have so much added flavor. So unlike other herbs where you're just pulling off the leaves and taking the time to do that, with cilantro, you can just add it right in, stems and all. So much fresh flavor. That's about a quarter cup right there, but you can always add more because I guarantee if I put more in, everyone will like it that much more. Okay, put it right in, give it a little stir. Gonna add in that lime juice. This is just gonna make it even more tender and juicy, giving it a little bit of extra liquid at the final second. Oh, so good. Just wanna eat it up right now. So at this point, what you could do, get your kids, line everybody up, put the tortillas out with all the accompaniments that you love, or after refrigerating it for a day, or letting it cool for that matter, one of the things that I like to do on night 2 is to serve it on top of rice. So what I like to do is turn my heat down because everything's all ready. I'm going to take out some of the chicken and the peppers and the onions. And I like to put it on a cutting board just like that. And what I'm going to do is chop it up into really fine pieces. And what you're doing here is you're making it more bite-sized, easier for kids to eat. You could put this even into a school lunch. I put this into Kenya's school lunch before and he loved it because it's easy for him to eat and it combines some of his other flavors. Although he loves tortillas, I mean, what kid doesn't like rice? So now that I've got it all chopped up into fine pieces, what I like to do is some beans, some pinto beans and cheese. When you're making a second and third meal, what you're also trying to do is stretch it out. So by adding some inexpensive ingredients like beans and cheese, you're making it stretch into 3 meals. This is some different kinds of cheese. I've got some cheddar, some Monterey Jack, I got some pinto beans, but you could also totally use black beans or any other kind of white beans, anything you've got on hand. You see that? Mix it up. When it's warm like this, the cheese even starts to melt. So delicious. Put this on top of some brown rice, added nutritional value from the brown rice. Oh, this is night 2. On day 3 for lunch, I'm gonna make chicken fajita quesadillas for this kid's school lunch. There you go, 3 meals in one. Honestly, what could be better? That is delicious. For more fast, fresh, and easy recipes like this and more, check out Weelicious.com.